three best tomatoes east of the Mississippi River. It's your boy Super E. Hey, JD, look at him. Bow Wow said Kanan killed Ghost. And Kanan gonna come back in the next episode.
Bow Wow said that.
Can we cancel Bow Wow for 2019? Can we just cancel Bow Wow?
Man, look. He's seeing things, man. Ever since he got beat up by the little girl, man, he got been seeing things.
With me, I got the man, the MILF, the Kiro.
Hey, y'all looking for a good movie on Netflix? Go and see American Son with Olivia Pope.
Wait, that ain't her name.
That's gonna always be her name. Olivia Pope, she playing it. She did a great job. They turned the play into a movie. It reminds you of Fences with Denzel Washington a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's great commentary. Got a lot of stuff that mainly you might want to watch with your teenage kids. But I'll let y'all be the judge of that.
Our brother Pittsburgh Ed couldn't be with us tonight, but
Ed was just scared out there.
Oh, he was scared.
He was scared out there.
Ed, he said you was scared, but Ed, we'll be back on the next show. Man, boy, we got a crazy, exciting show today. First up, we're gonna start with that recap, man. The last show we gave y'all the Georgia-Florida special, the Super Bowl of the East, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Top 10 matchup, number 8 versus number 6, Jacksonville, Florida. JD, Georgia pulled it out 24-17. What happened to your Florida boys?
I don't know what happened to Florida. I got to say kudos to Georgia. Kudos to Georgia. They really had a lot of proving to do, and they came out. I said, in order for them to win, Jake Fromm is gonna have to make some plays. He didn't do nothing outside of what he normally do, but Florida didn't know how to defend. They didn't know how to defend. Like, they couldn't get a first down. It was just so many errors in that game. I just didn't know what Georgia had the game from the start, man. And I mean, damn. I mean, I know Georgia defense good, but Florida I don't know if it's Georgia defense that good or Florida just couldn't get no offense going, just bad play calling.
Well, the thing is, I told you about Fromm. That is what Fromm does. And he does it on a consistent basis. So I don't see why people say he's not a good quarterback. He made the throws. Fromm actually wanted this game because I've never seen Fromm run like that. It was a couple situations where he was in trouble. Fromm got the hell up out of there. And Florida is the number one sack leading team in the SEC. And Georgia didn't give up no sack. But like you said, from the start, Georgia dominated this game in the trenches. Offensive line and defensive line. Mm-hmm. They was able to establish the run. Georgia finally opened up the playbook. It's either they opened up a playbook or they got a new playbook over 2 weeks because it was some different plays. It was some electrifying plays. It was some half bootleg and
he got his receiver back.
Yeah, got a receiver back in Cager, and the defense is real. Number one scoring defense in the SEC. The only defense in college football that has not given up a rushing touchdown.
This is how I feel about Georgia. I feel like we at where we supposed to be with them. Like, losing to South Carolina, I feel like it was a fluke, right?
Yeah.
But even if Georgia was undefeated right now and they beat South Carolina and they beat Florida and they beat Notre Dame and they beat everybody, Texas A&M and Auburn, Georgia Tech, I feel like if they beat everybody, we in the same position that we in every year. So I feel like it's going to come down to Alabama, and now it's LSU. Alabama or LSU in the SEC championship. So yeah, Florida, they beat Florida because they in some shit right now. So they have to win every game until then. But even if they was undefeated, we be in the same thing. Every year is can they beat Bama? Can they beat Bama? So I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. But Bama and LSU is not Florida, but you can't prepare for them. You got to prepare for Missouri right now. You got to prepare for A&M.
Of course,
you got to prepare for Auburn. You can't look that far. That's the main reason South Carolina beat you. You can't undermine the team. You can't disrespect the team. You got to prepare for each team every week. And I can see Georgia doing big things. And when you get there, you got to win it.
I think the biggest thing is Georgia plays to the level of competition. And I've been watching and observing this now. If Kirby could get them to play to their full potential each and every game, I think you get a more dominant, more blown out. But that's just the way the players are right now. South Carolina, they kind of played like sluggish, like they didn't really want to be there. Like, okay, let's go ahead and get this W, get it over with. But then it's like Florida, it's like, all right, come on, it's a heavyweight bout. Let's go. Y'all ready? We ready. You know what I mean? It's like they came out with a totally different energy. And, I mean, like I told you, they don't lose when I'm in the house. So, I mean, you could tell inside that stadium that was a different energy from Georgia, and it showed. I mean, the defensive line has impressed me so much because that's been the biggest weakness, period. Haven't been able to get a sack, pass rush over the past couple of years. They was dead last in sacks last year, and they've almost doubled what they got last year already. So, that's a big improvement, and to see them play like that against Florida. I said it great to be a Georgia Bulldog.
Oh, Lord.
Kings of the SEC East, man. JD know what's going on.
Oh,
but we got a battle this weekend for the Kings of the SEC West. We got number 2 LSU at number 3 Alabama. Battle of the unbeaten. The winner of this game probably will go to the ACC championship and beyond. But it starts this week in Tuscaloosa, JD. They say Tua gonna play. Who you got and why?
I'm rolling with Bama this week.
Rolling with Bama?
I'm rolling with Bama this week.
Okay.
For the simple fact, first of all, we all know it's almost religious. You don't really bet against Nick Saban. I mean, that's first of all. Unless you're a diehard the opposite team, you really don't bet against Nick Saban. That's first of all. Second of all, they used to the big moment. LSU used to the big moment, but
this is a big one.
This is a big one for LSU.
This is a big one. We talking about every play bid.
I mean, offensively, I feel as though they're similar offensively. You know, I feel as though Alabama got a tad more talent on offense. Just like on defense, I feel like Alabama got a tad more defensive stars on their team. But I feel like in the end, like it always does, it's going to come down to coaching. I'm more intrigued this game, though, over the running backs. Clyde Edwards for LSU, he ran for 136 yards. He ran for 136 yards and 134 yards against Auburn and LSU, two of the biggest games that Auburn and Florida, two of the biggest games LSU played. So I'm interested to see the running backs. I'm interested to see what run, because they not really talking about the running backs. I mean, we talking about Joe Burrow. We talking about Tua. I feel like the win is gonna come with the running backs, and I feel both teams got great running backs: Najee Harris and Brian Robinson for Bama, and then you got Clyde Edwards for LSU. So I feel like Bama, the spread is 6.5. The spread is 6.5. So I feel like Bama is just better than LSU.
Well, my take is Bama's at home. The spread is 6.5. They're getting Tua back. Now, I don't know if Tua going to be 100% or Tua going to be 80%. But they're getting Tua back, and that makes them immediately better. When I look at LSU, their offense is smoking. It's firing on all cylinders right now. This is the best defense this offense has ran into all season. And then this is going to be the best coach that this team has seen all season. I think this is a moment that's too big for LSU. I think Saban is gonna put his paws on this game. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Alabama because I think the matchup of the day is gonna be Alabama offense versus LSU defense. It's LSU's prime weakness, so it's gonna be key to get some stops because if they let Alabama run up and down that field, it'll get ugly fast. But I'm going to take Alabama 24-10.
So you got them winning by 14?
I got them winning by 14.
I like the spread, man. I like Alabama to win by 7.
Ooh,
I like them. They 6.5 now, so I like Bama to win by 7.
Oh, so you like Bama to still cover the spread? Yeah. We got a caller. Caller, you on the line?
Yo, it's the only one, be Smoov.
We got the boy be Smoov on the line. We can hear you. What's going on, Smoov?
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
All right, we got number 2 LSU versus number 3 Alabama. Now, I know you're an LSU fan, but we want you to speak from your mind and not your heart. Who you got?
Okay. It's without a doubt, without a question. I called it out when I was on your show last time. I like LSU. And then at this point of the day, I like LSU even more. And I have many reasons why I choose LSU in this game.
Okay, for
one, it's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
You really stack up against Alabama. That's number one. And I like the confidence level that my team presents every time they step the field. Unlike how you claim Georgia on the pace to level of their competition, we march to the beat of our own drum.
Okay.
Now, few things that I want to discuss. Bama, about it. Top-notch team, been waiting on this moment all year long because I kind of felt where I was going to be at in this position. Okay. That's number one. Number two, what scares me is Nick Saban. I mean, he's proven. He's a guru. Matter of fact, the best college coach that ever touched the gridiron, in my opinion. Okay. My opinion only. But when it comes to this year and this year only, I got a dog at quarterback that fears none, and he reads defenses, and if you cannot tell, all of his players are always in the right position at the right time. And then I got a balance attack on the run game. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but LSU has the best balance attack in the nation, according to my opinion, and statue.
Skip. Wait a minute.
I'm listening.
Wait a minute, because that would indicate that you lead the SEC in rushing, and we know that's not true. So moving on.
I never said we led SEC in rushing.
But you just called me the best.
The most balanced attack.
No, you don't.
Tell go ahead. What team can run and pass the ball as well as LSU right now at this stage and moment?
Alabama.
I would like to hear that team.
Alabama.
No, it's not Alabama. I beg to differ. And then not only that, let's just put this in perspective. Now, I heard one guy, I'm not sure who it was, that said Georgia has one of the top defenses in the nation, which is true, but their defenses are not better than Auburn and Florida, who LSU already annihilated.
Hold on, wait.
That's number one. Now, that's facts.
Wait a minute. We just seen Florida defense go up against Georgia, and the Georgia defense clearly won it. Clearly.
And we did. But did you see the amount of points that we put up against the Florida team?
Yeah.
Do you see how we beat Auburn? And see, a lot of people look at that score and say, well, yeah, LSU might have just got by. That's a lie. Okay, going into that Auburn-LSU game, LSU was 100% in the red zone. So kudos to Auburn for holding their own, stopping us 3 times in the red zone. But does Alabama have that same material defense that the rest of the 2 defenses that we've already seen this year? I beg to differ. I do not think so. What would you say?
I say coach and uplift defense. You got Nick Saban. You can't say that for every team, but he gonna have them boys prepared. Yeah, I can't say that.
The scheme that he gonna bring is gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy for Joe Burrows this Saturday.
Believe it or not, and see, I understand everybody's hung on Nick Saban, and rightfully so, we should be. But one thing we do understand about Nick Saban, he struggles against elite quarterbacks. Prime example, Deshaun Watson, Clemson. Prime example, Trevor Lawrence, Clemson.
Yeah, but
Before we get,
those were complete teams. Now those were complete teams.
So. All right. With that being said, is LSU not a complete team?
It would
okay, we got one as a true freshman.
Yeah,
as a true freshman on paper, not even on paper, but on stats. Darius Stingley Jr. is considered the best cover corner in college football as a true freshman. Okay, at safety, we got Greg Delpit, right? He will be the first safety drafted off the board, and he will be a top 10 pick. Christian Fulton, he will be a first-round pick at the other corner. So, as far as matching up against Alabama wide receivers, I like my chances against any. But can you say the same thing about Alabama's secondary against LSU offense?
That's yet to be seen, but this is the same LSU defense that almost gave up 40 to Florida too now. And we listen. All right, let's go back to that. Okay, we didn't almost go up no 40. Florida came out 21-21 at the half. Florida came out scored because they got the ball. Okay, guess what happened from that point on? 21 unanswered points from LSU was made to score 42-28. So don't tell me nothing about no Florida almost scoring no 28. Yeah, in the Florida game, yeah, they took care of what they could, but then once again, once the offense kept defense on the field, guess what happened? Florida started to deteriorate. So when it comes down to this Alabama LSU game, it's gonna come down to who gets the stops.
So with that being,
it's not gonna be that.
With that being said, what's your final prediction score?
My final prediction score in this game?
Yes.
34-28 LSU.
Oh.
And I really almost want to say we're going to win by 10.
Oh.
I mean, the over-under is 63, so that about matches the over-under. I mean.
Ooh. You think you going to put up 34 points on Nick Saban? Ooh, boy, we about to see.
Look, let me tell y'all something. When it comes to Jordan Jefferson, Terrence Marshall, and Jamar Chase, I like that group against anybody, and not even thinking about that is Moss at tight end. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, let me tell y'all something. I think he might be one of the most underrated running backs in the nation. That's a fact.
Hey, B, one last question before you get out of here.
All right, I'm listening.
Most pre-draft lists got Tua going to Miami right now. I'm not sure if Miami is still the bottom team since they just won, but most people got Tua going. How you feel about Tua? I actually seen one or two of them different lists have Joe Burrow going number one. How you feel about that?
As far as Joe Burrow going number one, I can't see that at the moment, but I do think he will be the second quarterback off the board. I do believe that. And the reason why I say that because as a fifth-year senior, he commands the offense. He's ahead of everything that sees in front of him. And you know, you hear this word, he's a coach's son. He's a coach's son. I didn't really read much into that. But it's facts in that when you say it's a coach's son, especially when your father coaches defenses, so that puts you light years ahead of what you're really seeing. It's all about getting everybody lined up, and he commands that every time he touches the field.
He's a like you said, he's a fifth-year senior, so he's a lot older than some of these cats that are entering the draft. So we will see.
He's only 23.
We will see.
Chris Winkie went first round number one overall pick at the age of 28, 30.
Exactly, and we know that'll never happen again. So, but Joe Burrow has his.
Once again, guys, I like my chances. 34-28, LSU.
Well, Joe Burrow has his Heisman is on the line, and would you like to put $100 on the line?
It's locked in.
Okay.
Ooh, on the air? You made a bet on the air?
We locked in.
I had to catch him in the road. You had to catch him in the road.
Look, and I'm gonna tell you something like this. I don't know which one of y'all I'm betting 100, but y'all can slice it up 50-50.
Yeah.
But when I win, I just want 100 in whole.
Big E, you bet
All at
E.
the same
You
time.
bet E now, cause I want my whole
Okay,
Honda.
how
I
you
want my
wanna
whole. I want my whole Honda.
Okay.
Honda.
Okay,
You already know, man. You already know. We appreciate you every time, Smoov. Appreciate you calling in,
All
dog.
right. Yeah. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Keeping it rolling, man. Oh, man. The first college football playoff rankings dropped. At number 1, we got Ohio State. At number 2, we got LSU. At number 3, you got Alabama. At number 4, you got Clemson. I'm sorry. You got Penn State. At number 5, you got Clemson. And at number 6, you got Georgia. JD, how do you feel about the initial ranking?
It was so perfect, though, the way they did it. I said, I'm looking
Politics.
for a flaw.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking for a flaw.
Politics.
But what the people should know is that number 2 and number 3 got to play each other, and number 1 and number 4 got to play each other.
So it's all going to work out.
It all going to work out. So number 5, 6, they got a chance to go on up. And however it works at the end, that's how it works at the end. But I think this year, everybody just get a fair shake at it.
Yeah, that's how it is. Basically, all teams in the top 6 have to win out pretty much to guarantee their spot in the playoffs. Now, I seen a statement today from the committee chair as to why they chose Ohio State
to be number
one over LSU. Over LSU, who's number 2. Now, a lot of people have seen LSU. They be the top 10 Texas team. They be the top 10 Auburn team, and they be the top 10 Florida team. Now, we have Ohio State, who's number 1, who has not be the top 10 team, but they do have 2 top 25 wins. The commissioner committee chair said that even though Ohio State doesn't have a tough schedule, they have dominated every game. That's their reason for putting Ohio State over LSU. I don't know how much more stupider this can get. I mean, it's just pure.
I agree. No, I agree with what he said.
Wait,
Ohio State has been embarrassing people, man. I understand you saying the level of competition. Uh-huh. I understand that, but at the end of the day, Ohio State has one of the balanced offensive defenses, just like the SEC. So I mean, I understand they haven't been playing anybody, but as far as for them to put them number 1 because of the way they've been winning convincingly, I agree.
Well,
like we said, it'll all work itself out. But do you see Penn State beating Ohio State?
I mean, the thing about it is Penn State has been building that program for the last couple years. I think if it's any team in the Big Ten, it's Penn State that can beat them. So, I mean, like you say, Ohio State is balanced. They're balanced as far as who they played against. But we don't know if they run up against a real defense because Penn State statistically has a real defense. I think they're giving up less than Georgia. I think Georgia's giving up like 11 now. I think Penn State might be giving up like 8 points a game. They like that good. So if, Penn State some kind of way makes them one-dimensional, then, they're not as balanced as people take them to be. But, I mean, for what they've done, I mean, I think they're definitely top 4, top 3. I can't put them at number 1. The strength of schedule just has to play.
But you got to watch them too, though.
I mean, I've watched them, but if you're gonna sit and tell me that a team that has beat 3 top 10 teams, I just would like to see Ohio State beat 3 top 10 teams. If they beat 3 top 10 teams, that maybe they should be number 1. But if they slip up and lose, and one of them games is not the same what LSU did.
So what number do you suggest they should be at?
I would have Ohio State at number 3.
I mean, at this point, it's really all the same, right?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get shook up.
It's gonna get shaken up. You got number 2 versus number 3 this week. Number 1 versus number 4 next week. Where Ohio State may not even be number 1 next week because probably whoever win this game is going to go to number 1.
Right.
Whoever win between 2 and 3 is probably going to go to number 1.
Right.
Which will put Ohio State at number 2.
Right.
And then whoever lose this game between 2 and 3 will probably drop to at least about 7. So that would put Penn State at 3. So then next week we'll have another 2-3 matchup. So, like JD said, it's all gonna iron out. Do not get your panties in a bunch about the initial rankings. It's the final rankings.
But
count.
I know we're about to go to the next topic, but why would the loser drop below Georgia?
Because Georgia is not gonna do anything to drop back.
But if you look at the loss, if you compare the loss, their loss and the loser's loss, it's against a top 4 team.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a loss late in the season. That's just how the rankings work. So it'll iron itself out too, because even if you drop, let's say LSU loses, if you drop LSU to number 6 and you move Georgia up into the top 5, Georgia still has to play Alabama.
And that,
LSU. Because if LSU loses, then Alabama is going to the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So that's how big this game is. Number 2 versus number 3. It's gonna cut somebody a ticket to the SEC championship. Mm-hmm. So it all work out. So that's probably why they would drop them back. And then it's a loss late in the season. It's kind of hard to revenge that loss with so many games. Only so many games left. So. But keeping it rolling, we're going to stay with football. Cleveland Brown safety, man, Jermaine Whitehead goes on a social media tantrum. He had a bad game statistically as a player. He's a safety. He got burnt on a couple plays. He missed some tackles on some couple plays. And he had some people on Twitter criticize him. He responded by telling people he was going to shoot him in the face. He was going to kill him. He put his address out there, and Monday morning Cleveland released him like, you gotta go.
Right.
You gotta go. Y'all taking this social media thing too far, man. Listen, man, Kanye just did an interview where he said, I don't care what they say. If they criticizing me, like if you're not uplifting me, if it's not positive, I don't care. Like you have to have a I don't care mentality. He who angers you controls you. You just cost yourself millions of dollars because you want to tell somebody you never even met before that you want to shoot them in the face.
Because you got a little attitude.
You got a little too.
Because you got you a little attitude. How? Come on, man. So you telling me you make millions of dollars and somebody who heckling you from the comfort of their home with their cell phone say something about you and to you, and you say you're going to kill them.
Shoot them in the face. That's just crazy, man. I just can't even believe this. Like, give me that opportunity and see do I mess it up.
I'm telling you. I think a lot of people need to learn. Say what you want to say about LeBron James.
Oh,
but I feel like a lot of athletes, he is the model athlete.
I'm glad you brought up LeBron.
He takes so much criticism. When he win, he take criticism. When he lose, he take criticism. But yet, the man is a master at responding, answering stuff, not answering stuff. He just handles himself with so much class. I think a lot of athletes need to take a LeBron James one-on-one class.
Yeah.
With dealing with the media, with dealing with fans, with just dealing with everything.
Period. And I'm glad you brought up LeBron because last night, the Los Angeles Lakers played the Chicago Bulls, and Chicago was up 18, and then the Lakers bench made a run to put them back in the game, and the Lakers actually ended up winning the game. LeBron finished with a triple-double, his third triple-double in a row, and after the game, he tells a heckler, the heckler was heckling him, he tells the game, your lady embarrassed to be here with you. Like, it's just the way he handles stuff, like, he's not going there on no Twitter rant. It's no profanity. It's no threats. Like, it's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
It's this.
Leave the streets in the streets.
Please, man.
Leave the goddamn streets in the streets.
Don't care today goes to Jermaine Whitehead. Messing up the money. I tell you who else messed up the money though, JD? Willie Taggart. Florida State fires head coach Willie Taggart after a season and a half. JD, in a season and a half, he went 9-12. He faced all kind of scrutiny. He faced all kind of injuries. I mean, a year and a half, you just don't give him enough time to right the ship.
Nah.
I mean, he got called nigger. They said they was going to hang him. They was going to lynch him. All this is not his fault. Like, he's not asking for this stuff. But it's just so much stuff surrounding him. And Florida State is losing at the same time. Florida State fires Willie Taggart.
I got a problem with this.
Why?
I got a problem.
Why? Tell me why you got a problem.
It really ain't no way to I can't sugarcoat.
You can't.
I can't. Okay, he's a black coach.
Black coach.
He gets a year.
Or show himself.
We're talking about. It's not even the NFL to where salary caps come into play and
Right.
you can actually put you a team together.
Right.
I mean, you got to recruit. It's hard to recruit on losing teams.
It is.
Yes, Florida State has tradition. Yes. We understand that. But at the end of the day, a year and a half, man, it's like, I'm going to be honest with you. Certain people, they don't get long with losing records. They don't, they're not going to keep you with losing records. But some other people, you can stay 4 or 5, 6, 7 years and not even make a bowl game. Maybe make one bowl game, 7 wins, and they'll keep you. Yeah, depending on who you know, if the alumni like you. Politics, man. And college football need to fix that, man. They need to fix it. Everybody don't come into winning situations. Yeah. Everybody don't in college football. It takes at least, how long, E?
It takes at least 3 or 4 years to get it going, really, because you need to, all the players that you inherited, you got to take that and make the best of that with them, and then you got to, you know what I'm saying, really get them out so you can really get the players that you feel like, because as a head coach, you got to have a standard for what type of player you want at every position. So until you can get those guys in, that's when you can really judge a coach. But a year and a half, Florida State.
A year and a half.
If he was white and his name was Tom Taggart, would he be fired?
No. I'm a Georgia Tech fan, and we just got a new coach, Paul Johnson.
How long was Paul Johnson there?
Paul Johnson was there for a while.
What the fuck did Paul Johnson do?
Never got a defense, and we knew that triple option, and we reached the peak on it years ago.
You see what I'm saying?
What I used to tell you.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
We reached the peak on it years ago.
Paul Johnson was worse than Willie Taggart.
Worse, and he stayed
longer. Way longer. He had to retire.
And then we got a new coach this year. He's been improving for 2020. He got him a nice draft class coming up. At the end of the day, you mean to tell me if we win 5 games next year, he'll be fired? I don't think so. Guess what they'll say? He needed a little more time. He only really had 1 year to recruit. Give him a couple more years. Everybody don't get those advantages. I'll just leave y'all with that nugget.
The biggest takeaway is you sign a coach for 5 years, but then you fire him in a year and a half. Now you gotta settle for a buyout agreement. So the school, do you just tell them bring me my money? They're like that little meme. Tell them bring me my money. Mm-hmm. And, Willie Taggart probably got his feet kicked up on the beach somewhere, man. But, it ain't foul. It wasn't foul. Life ain't foul. It's just how it is, man.